Hello, friends. Welcome to the first installment of Access ASU's Sparky's Spotlights. My name is Marcelino Quiñones, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the Director of Educational Outreach and Partnerships. We are going to be using this forum in order to inform our community members, our students, and everyone else about proactive steps that they can take right now in order to be college ready come fall 2020. Today, I've got the awesome pleasure of welcoming my colleague, and his name is Kevin Johnson, and he is a member of the team. He's an executive coordinator, and he's going to be sharing with us information on FAFSA and verification. You've often might have heard me say how important FAFSA is. I've often talked about my story and how my college education would not have been possible without FAFSA, and so FAFSA is very important. And oftentimes after our students submit FAFSA, there's one extra layer, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. So we know that right now, 39% of high school seniors have submitted FAFSA, which is wonderful. We are well on our way up to the 52% that we set out for ourselves. But we have students who might have submitted FAFSA already, but now they get a notification that they have to go through verification. What is that?
Yeah, so the verification process, we always want to let students know first and foremost, it's nothing they did wrong on their part. Verification process is selected by each individual school. So ASU selects a certain percentage of students randomly to provide documentation just to make sure that whatever is on their FAFSA, it matches up and is accurate and correct. That way we can give the student the most accurate and best financial aid package possible.
Great, and verification happens at random.
Yeah, it happens at random, and I'll walk students through a couple ways they'll be notified and how they can also complete verification. The big thing and big takeaway for students is that you cannot receive your full financial aid package until you complete the verification process.
Wonderful to know. Great. So you're going to walk us in this conversation through FAFSA verification, and you've prepared some slides for us. So we'll go through them, right?
All right. Yeah. So I'll just take over right now. So if everyone can see my screen, I prepared some slides like Marcelino had mentioned for students that may be seeing FAFSA verification on their account. So if you don't know, or if you are aware, this will work for either student, and this will help you complete some of the information and documents that we need. So a couple notes for students. If you aren't aware that you have been selected for FAFSA verification, you can access verification tasks and documents via your My ASU account. So we always ask that students check that regularly because they could be updated. So students will also receive a bi-weekly email from ASU giving you a heads up, hey, you've been selected for FAFSA verification. And sometimes, just because a document has been submitted, maybe it's missing a signature or important paper that we had requested. So ASU has to individually look at every document. And for whatever reason, if that document is missing something, then ASU will let you know, hey, that document has been marked as returned, which means that you'll be given some notes on how to submit that document correctly. Maybe something was missing. ASU will help notify you on what was missing. And then students will receive that email just saying, hey, it's been returned. Go back into your ASU account and just double check that. An important note for parents is because parents are on the FAFSA as well. So there may be some documents that the parents will need to access. So it is important that students, you complete your documents, anything that's a student form, student verification request, things like that. And you may see something that says parent forms. So it is important that students, you cannot complete this. Your parents need to complete it. So the way that you'll do that is by granting them guest access. You can do that on your My ASU account.
Great. And you mentioned, Kevin, sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned that students will receive emails, but additionally, a student who has been already accepted to ASU and is now going through FAFSA verification, check the status of the verification by going to My ASU, to their My ASU account, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Great.
And so for both the student and parent forms, they'll be accessed on the My ASU page. So the way that parents would access their pages is for the student to grant them guest access. And it is important when you do that, you'll be putting in parent information, and then there's going to be a box that says allow finances, and you'll check that. That way your parents have access. That guest access link is emailed to the parent, and you put the email in, so make sure that they have access to that email, and that expires after 48 hours. So if you did it on Friday and you're not getting around to it until Monday, that link is expired. So you can just send the guest access link again. That's no big deal. And again, just a reminder, parent tasks can only be completed by the parent. So let me just show you where you can see if you have been selected for the verification process. So this is something that students will see on their My ASU page. You know, you may see that congratulations, things like that. Priority tasks, that is what students have to do. So, you know, enrollment deposit, orientation, things like that. But down below, you'll see right here some tasks that you may not be familiar with. That will be the verification process. All right, so let's just do a more zoomed in link on what that will look like. So this will vary per student. So you may be selected for one, none, and multiple. And reminder, not every student is selected for FAFSA verification. So if you aren't selected and you've already received your financial aid awards, good for you. So this is a reminder for students. If you see something like this, this will just let you know, okay, I have these certain tasks that I need to complete. And then you can see that some will say click here. That way you can access these forms. And then that second one where it says parent guest access, you can see where it says don't show this again. So if you know you've already granted your parent guest access, you can just click that. That way you can remove that from your task list and focus on really what needs to be done.
Kevin, let me interrupt you for just a moment. This goes again to show just the importance between collaboration between students and their parents. As we know, FAFSA doesn't happen without their parents' income taxes. And for this particular year, we're looking at income taxes from 2018. So it's almost as if that work continues more so, right? That collaboration between parents and students?
Yes, and we always tell students that that not just FAFSA, but the financial aid and paying for college is not just with ASU, but overall should be a transparent conversation. You and your parents should be side by side along the way, and it shouldn't just be left on one person's shoulders. So make sure that you're talking about it openly, discussing finances. That way, both the student and parent, or whoever else is helping pay for the student's college, is fully aware of the finances and charges and what to expect, things like that. So moving forward, I'm just going to show some students some of the more common tasks that they may encounter. One is the household size verification. So again, you can access this form on your My ASU page. You can download the form and complete it. So students, you can download it, print it out, take a picture. This form does require signatures. So there are multiple ways that you can upload the forms. You can upload the forms online, by mail, or in person at any ASU Financial Aid Scholarship Services location. I know at the times with coronavirus, and offices may have different hours, so it's always important to just double check, make sure that if you plan on going in person, that the office will be open. But if not, you can submit it by mail or online. So what the student would do is they would click that form to download the household size verification, all right? And then once a student completes it, they will go back to this page and they will upload it here. And I'll show you what the upload page looks like. And again, with a lot of these verification tasks, it may sound confusing. You might not understand exactly what it's for. And every form will have a purpose. So you can see this form is used to verify the accurate number of household members and number of household members in college at least half time that you should have reported on the FAFSA. So this is just a good explanation. This is a screenshot of the form. Okay, this is what you will see. And then this is a zoomed in version. Okay, and then you can see on instructions, it tells you on number 3 where you can submit those forms. So it gives you the address, things like that.
Kevin, so again, verification happens at random. And then additionally, once a student is selected for a verification, as you've shown through the My ASU form, it'll give the students exactly what forms, what particular forms they need to submit. And then as you've shown through the zoom in, it'll give them specific instructions on how to complete these forms, right?
Yes, and so the My ASU page will give the instructions and also the purpose of the form, and then the forms themselves will also have the purpose and instructions how to complete it. They'll also let you know that if this form requires any additional documents, for example, a copy of a 2018 tax form, it'll let you know, please include this form along with the document. And that's why it's important to read the instructions. That way you are aware of what documents that all need to be provided, and that way you can submit and then have a higher chance of those documents being accepted. Because again, documents can be returned if they are, for example, missing signatures, missing an attached document, things like that.
Great.
So with this form, it's a little self-explanatory as far as information that needs to be provided. So you can see student information up top. Students, it's important that you complete this form in blue or black ink only. Okay, so no pencil, no red pens, things like that. Okay, and you will see on table A, it's letting you know who to include on this form. Okay, so you'll want to include the parent that you selected on the FAFSA, blue or black ink. And then if you're still unaware, if you're still not sure, just go through table A, because it tells you exactly who to put. So just go 1 through 5 and just make sure that everyone on that in your household that's indicated on table A, that they'll be on that form, and that you know that you've answered this correctly, and ensure that your parents have signed it, that you have signed it, and you have dated it. Students, you can also just take a photo of the form once it's completed, as long as it's legible and we can see all 4 corners, and you can upload it online.
Good, Kevin. And we want to make sure that students understand how much support they have when they are submitting all of these forms, or when they have to complete any of these tasks. And even if we look at that form that you currently have up there, right underneath the Arizona State University logo, it'll tell you if you have additional questions. It provides you with the phone number or where you or an email address for you to submit those forms, right? So again, everything is very clear in terms of what the task is and how that task can be completed.
Yeah, and it's great that you pointed that out. So right under that big ASU logo on the top left, you can see if you need any assistance completing this form, please contact our office, and it gives you 2 ways. So I always tell students, just to be on the safe side, it does not hurt to complete the form and then just call just to say, hey, I just want to make sure before I submit this that it's accurate. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else I need to know? And that way, you go in and you're more prepared on how to complete that form correctly. So that's good.
Nothing wrong with being proactive, right, Kevin?
Yeah, nothing wrong. And again, we encourage that. We encourage students to ask questions, because if this is your first time seeing these forms, they may look very foreign to you, and you may not be familiar with tax forms, things like that. So that's why there are so many ASU staff here to help and just offer assistance. So please reach out to us. That way we can help you the best we can.
Great.
So that's just the most common form, the household size form. And when students will go onto that submit page, this will be something that they see. So you'll see the dependent house verification 2020, 2021. And then what students will do is that they will choose file to upload. So that's where students, if they've taken a picture on their phone or if it's on their computer, you can just upload that form right there. It's important that after you choose a file, you need to click upload. Okay. And then last reminder that after you've uploaded it, it's there, it's on your file, but you have to submit it. That way it's sent to ASU. If you don't click submit, your file is just loaded on your page and it hasn't been sent to ASU yet. So those are just some important reminders. I know they sound simple, but sometimes students forget to upload, and sometimes students forget to submit. And it's important that you submit those. That way they can be reviewed and you receive your financial aid. All right?
Great. So, and that little submit button even is in yellow compared to most of the rest of the form. Yes,
exactly. And then just to go back really quick on instruction number 3, there is a website, student forms and FA miscellaneous verification. So if you have any documents, you can just go there, and then it's kind of like a miscellaneous web page for any verification documents.
Okay.
So if you don't, remember the web page, you kind of forgot how to get to it, you can always go to that page, and then you can just submit any FAFSA verification forms there. So that's very helpful too.
Great. Kevin, and you've got income verification. Is that another common verification form that sometimes needs to be submitted?
Yeah, so this is another common one. And this, I will actually show you what it will look like.
Okay.
So reminder for students that only parents can complete the verification forms that they have on their account. So students, you are not able to complete this form for parents. So once a parent accesses their accounts for their tasks, they will, if they're selected for this parent income verification task, they'll be sent to a page that looks a lot like this, okay? And then it is really depending on your family situation, and especially for the 2018 tax year. So
okay.
With just so many different students applying to ASU, not everyone's gonna fit in one bucket, okay? And that's where students can, and parents, when they're completing this, can go through and they can say, okay, I did not earn income from work in 2018, and I did not file a tax return. So if that is my particular situation, I click on that. What do I have to do? And ASU did a really good job on letting parents know, if this is your situation, this is what we are requesting, and this is how to complete all those steps. And another example, what was that, Marcelino?
And there's a number of other options. So whatever verification that the parents need to submit, as you're showing through your screen right now, all of those things are outlined, right?
Yeah, they're outlined, and we tried our hardest to make it as transparent as possible, as clear. But again, if this is your first time, or you're just completely baffled what's going on, call us. That way we can help walk you through these forms and let you know that it's important to include any additional documentation. So let me just show you another example of what the steps that ASU has taken to make sure that students and parents are aware of all the documents they need. So for example, you might see something that says 2018 verification of non-tax filing. Okay, what does that mean? And I've never heard of that. Well, if you were to scroll down, you can see, oh, how to request a verification of non-tax filing letter. So ASU did a good job of walking students and parents through it. They provided links on how to access those documents, and they've also provided links on how to request and how to completely fill out any additional forms. And again, I encourage you, if you followed all the steps, if you're at that step where you're ready to submit that document, just give us a call just to make sure, hey, I checked, box number 7 right here. Is that, I just want to double check, hey, on line number 9, this is what I put. And then that way you're confident moving forward.
Right, and I know it seems like it's a lot of information, but the headings really do a nice job of organizing that information. And then after that, we have we have numbers, we have numbers that really outline what those next steps could be.
Exactly, and so this is just an online version, and there is also for parents who are physically signing. What you'll do is there is a PDF version of exactly this. So just like how the household size verification was on a page, on a PDF page, and you could just print that out, fill it out. There is a version of the parent income verification on a page, and it's exactly just like this, except everything is laid out for the parent to read. And then you would just complete it just like you would complete the online version. You would just select the most appropriate status for your family and move forward that way. Great. So that is a good, just a good walkthrough and example of what you'll see, not just, screenshot, not just me talking to you about it, but what you'll see and how you can move forward with those steps. And then one of the more common ones that we see for students as well is something called a student income verification, where it's just asking to provide proof if you work. Now, again, FAFSA verification is random. So for many of our incoming students, out of high school, students will say, well, I didn't work in 2018, so I don't have anything to prove. So if that's the case, you would just say that if you're a dependent student and if you did not earn income and you didn't file, you would just have to let us know, hey, I didn't do that, and submit, just to let us know. Because again, the verification process is a random selection, but it is also important to submit.
That's the second time you mentioned the importance of the button.
Yeah, that's a second time, because again, it's really important. And if sometimes you're like me, where you don't always read the directions and you skim read, you know, stuff like that, and then, okay, I check that box and let me close out of that window and go back to what I was doing. You know, it again could just be sitting there, and we may not even know that you have completed that. So again, just submit those forms, documents. That way, someone on ASU's end can review that and make sure that, hey, you know, they've done everything on their end. Now it's up to us, and then we can help the student best we can.
That's outstanding.
So again, one of the more important things and biggest takeaways is for students to just, you know, take it step by step. Don't be overwhelmed with all these forms and everything it's asking for. You know, take it step by step, read it line by line, and that way you can feel really confident moving forward. So something that that I wanted to share to students. So, hey, maybe I did submit a form, things like that. How do I know if they've been accepted? Have they been looked at? When am I going to receive my financial aid? Different things like that. So it's important that students check your My ASU account regularly.
Mm-hmm.
On your My ASU account, there is a Finances tab next to the Home button. So if you were to click on that Finances tab, you will see a few different things. I want to focus on the financing tasks right here. So, hey, maybe this student already submitted the household size verification, and you can see right there, received.
Received.
That's
So
really good. Oh,
just to show the interaction. So if I'm looking at that tab on my ASU webpage, I can see immediately that I had to do verification, and I had to submit four items, and I've already submitted 2 of them: the household size verification, received, and I've also submitted the student income verification, but I still have to do the other 2 items, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then so it's important for students to know as well that that the verification documents will not be viewed until all of them are completed. It states that on the on some of the forms and on the financial aid tab. So you will see right here, financing tasks, student looks like they have done their part, and then they're just waiting for the parent information as well. So sometimes if your parents just need a little bit of a heads up or a little push, just remind them. That way they can complete these forms, and then you will see once it's been submitted, if for whatever reason those documents were returned, kind of like I mentioned earlier, that
Mm-hmm.
will say returned and not received. So you'll see the status, and if at the end of the day, if those documents were, you know, read and approved, things like that, then that will just be a green check mark. Okay, and then you can always go on this same page right here, and in the financial aid and scholarships box, you can see the steps of you and receiving your financial aid package. So if you are on step number 2, that means, hey, your file isn't complete yet, and it's not complete, for example, because we're still waiting on a couple documents. Okay, so you will also be able to track your financial aid status right here, and just to make sure that that as long as this is moving forward, okay, then that's good. That's progression. That means that, you know, eventually you'll be packaged with some financial aid. And then number 4 will be act on your awards. That's when students have received their financial aid and they know, okay, this is what I'm getting. And again, make sure it's a transparent conversation of paying for college with parents, whoever's helping you.
And of course, throughout this whole process, if a student or a parent has a question, feel free to reach out to the ASU financial aid offices, and our incredible teammates will walk you through that process.
Exactly. So that's one of the reminders I have. That's the first reminder I have. A reminder to all students and parents, families, that ASU staff are here for assistance, especially when you know, schools may be closed. Want to inform students that we are still working. We're still here for you know, to help you and your family. So utilize us. We're here, and we've been experienced with this, and we've other families and students through these forms. So, please feel free to reach out. I've included my email just in case, you have any questions. And last thing is, we encourage students to monitor their My ASU accounts, because that's the quickest way that they'll receive the notifications on what's going on with their accounts. Check your emails. That way you can also just receive those notifications as well. And there's a website on the ASU page called Find My Rep. And that is a link to every admissions representative that works with your particular high school. So if you are from a high school in the Phoenix area, Mesa, Peoria, wherever you're at, you can go on that page, you can put in your high school, and you could find the ASU rep that works specifically with your high school, and feel free to reach out with them. They are financially trained, so they can help you with these documents as well. That's all I have for today. I'm gonna go ahead, stop sharing my screen, and I just wanna thank everyone for listening in, and good luck. And just remember, we're here for your help.
Kevin,
we're here to help you, excuse me.
Yeah. Kevin Johnson, thank you so much for this information. We know that we're going to be online until at least 4 p.m. today, answering any of these questions in real time. So folks, if you have any questions in real time as you're hearing this information, both Kevin and I will be able to communicate with you through Facebook, through this medium, in order to answer any other questions that might come up. Thank you for joining us today. We will be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock with another segment in order to inform our communities. Thank you for joining us at Access ASU Sparky's Spotlights. Kevin, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.